Yes, so it is 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And we will commence with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hang on one second, we're not live yet. You must be paying attention to my clock, I'm sorry.
Okay. You're in charge.
About 30 more seconds. I tried to start it early, but it said there was an error, so. Okay, we are live now, thank you.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the Historic District Commission on Monday, March 13th, 2023 to order. And we will commence with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Every Historic District Commission meeting, we start off with a statement of the authority for the commission. And we actually have a proposed new statement of authority that Bethany has provided us with, so I will read that one. The Maryland Land Use article empowers Frostburg's Historic District Commission to implement the city's Historic Preservation Overlay District according to the regulations set forth to the Frostburg zoning ordinance. All meetings of the commission are open to the public and are conducted in compliance with Maryland's Open Meetings Act. Statement of purpose: the Frostburg Historic District Commission is charged with the preservation of historic structures and the surroundings with the designated district in order to safeguard the heritage of the city, stabilize and improve property values, strengthen the local economy, and foster civic beauty. Roll call. Chair Dawn Hine could not be with us today, and as Vice Chair, Joe Hoffman, I'm present. William Dennerman, present. Robert Repan is ill and cannot be here, and Maury Brewer.
Here.
Alternate member Daniel Filer is not with us today. Commissioners, if you could review and consider for approval the agenda.
Morning, Brewer. I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Bill Detterman, second it. All in favor?
Aye.
And the agenda is approved. Review and approval of the minutes. Bill Detterman, I make a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
Morning, Brewer. I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And the minutes are approved. Project presentations. Our first project is 147 East Main Street, Façade Alteration. I'm sorry. I had to look at the other side.
Yes, we are two-sided.
It's 52 West Main Street, proposed fence installation.
If you'd like to have a seat at the table.
Oh, sure, sorry. My last one was virtual, so this is all very exciting. Good afternoon. Evening. Do I present to you, or?
If you could,
Yes.
if you could tell us a bit about the project.
Oh, sure. We about a year ago, I had a presentation for a yard project. One of the questions you asked with the yard landscaping last time was, well, what about the fence? What are you going to do about the fence? And I said, oh my gosh, we have so many other things in front of the fence, I don't know what we're gonna do with the fence. I'll come back to you. So I'm back to you with proposals about what we're gonna do with our fence. Most of the fence, because we spent almost all of our money on the yard, most of the fence is gonna remain the same. But we do have a medium-sized, very active dog. And we don't have any existing gates into the current fence. The previous owner, you can see, he kind of, I think he may have got this iron fence from, I'm gonna guess, maybe the church next door or somewhere. And he had it just kind of propped up, which we've continued to do just because we didn't have a plan. And we like the fence, but there's fence gates, but there's fence panels, but no gates. So we've just been kind of jerry rigging the panels with wheels and things to use them as gates. But it's not working. It doesn't look good, and it's not functional for what we need. So we're trying to match it as close as we can with some aluminum fencing, with a kind of spear point that's another foot in height. And then we want to run it down to kind of the front corner of the house, just so it's kind of nice and squared off, and then add some gates where the sidewalks have been added. But trying to keep it consistent with what he found and what ties in with the rest of the environment, but also make it functional for our use. And we got a quote from Overland Fence to install it, and I think there's a photo in the photo array of the proposed fencing that we'd like to use.
That's on page 14 of your packets.
Is there gonna be a problem with the spikes, spears on the top of the fence? I know at St. Michael's, when we were doing that, they didn't want us to match what was there because of liability of insurance. That's what I'm trying to recommend to you. If somebody, I know it sounds dumb, climb over that fence and get impaled on it, there could be a problem. But that's your call, not our call. But I know the church,
St. Mike's might be a little different though. You have a lot of people, it's a heavy trafficked area. This fence is gonna be
it's
up from
towards
the
the back of the
sidewalk.
house. I agree.
So you're not gonna have as many people. It's not as high traffic area as St. Mike's.
So you're thinking that the wrought iron fence that's there now was just put up?
It was never what I would call installed.
Okay.
It was like, I
Propped.
would say it wasn't even really stuck in the ground. It was just kind of propped up, and we've kind of nursed it along. But and we kind of thought about ways that we could try to make it work, but I think it's just not tall enough. And the bottom part that would actually mount to something. I don't know if it broke off at some point in the past. But there's not a lot to install it.
You're probably right, it probably came from another fence that had been taken out somewhere.
My suspicion is that it was maybe the church fence along the park, that kind of the park area between the kind of where the church ends. You walk by it all the time. I assume that the fence just kind of went up to the property line at one point because it's about as much fence. It looks the same. It looks like the same fence, and I thought maybe the previous owner had maybe picked it up when they were getting rid of it or something.
Debbie, what's the maximum height again? Is it 6 feet for the fence?
Within the front yard setback, it's 4 feet,
4 feet, okay.
and
So this is-
outside of that, it can be up to 6.
Okay, so this is within the height requirement. Or maximum, I guess.
So how far are you going to go all the way back with this, or just?
So on
just
If you
to
look
the
on
wire.
if you look on page 10, it has the existing in yellow of what the existing fence is, and then in red are going to be the gates. And then the new aluminum fence is the blue line, correct?
correct, with new gates where the red
Right,
is.
where the
Okay.
red is.
At some point, we might like to do the rest, to have it match, but we're not proposing that today.
Okay.
So what kind of gate are you gonna get? Is it just gonna be similar to
Yeah.
the fence?
It's the same. There was an option of a kind of a dome or a bow, but I didn't really like that. I think it looks better just kind of
To match.
to match the fence, right? So, and we have not, obviously have not ordered any of the fencing yet, so, I hope to do it tomorrow, if this goes well. But yeah, for the most part, it's gonna run parallel to the hedges. There's a hedge line between the property and the church property. So we're just gonna really run it, the bulk of it is along the fence, or along the hedge line, and then kind of bring it over up to the sidewalk.
Yes, see, it's gonna run right along all those bushes there.
Yeah, I walk
Hedges are taller
past
than the fence.
that house every day just about, and been watching the progress you guys have made on doing the landscaping.
They did such a nice job on it.
It is beautiful.
I mean,
Terrific
they
job,
just
yeah.
we couldn't be happier with it. It's just,
Mhm.
it's lovely. We just are ready for it to be summer so we can be out there.
That'll happen on July the 4th, and then
Yeah.
the 5th it'll be over.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my friends, he's an architect in Georgetown, very much involved in historic preservation. When he looked at it, he said, did the preservation committee make you use these pavers? And I said, no, but in preparation for the meeting, I started doing a little bit of work to kind of see how we could tie it in better to the environment. And I saw those pavers, and I know I'm familiar with those from over on Broadway, right up the street, and a couple other places in town. And I said, once I got it in my mind that it could look like that, I was just set on it. And he said, well, I think that's how these meetings are supposed to go, right? He says, I think that it's supposed to get you thinking about, and not be we're going to tell you how to build your house, but it should be just to get you to think about it and kind of in how you want to tie it into the rest of the space. And so it worked in this case because I don't think I would have thought about that without the exercise.
And then,
You thought good, that was very nice.
oh, and then actually, those pavers are what used to be, that's in front of my house. So you could have, so when they redid the sidewalks in Frostburg years ago, you could have a choice whether you wanted, to keep brick, or if you wanted something different.
Those
I'm not
pavers
sure
are-
how that got, I don't know how that all worked, but
Yeah,
you
those
got a
pavers are
choice.
just, they're great. We love them. And then, they were just very easy to work with. So.
Any other questions?
Any questions? Are we ready for a motion?
I'll make it. I have studied the application and all relevant documents and presentation related to this case, and I am familiar with the property in question. I find that the proposed change are compatible with the neighborhood because there is a general compatibility of exterior design, scale, proportion, arrangement, texture, and materials to be used. Based on these findings, I move to approve the proposal because the use of the exterior material are closely similar in appearance to the original material or significantly building in the district pursuant to section 4.1.J.1.C.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimously it is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Have fun.
Great. Thank you.
Enjoy your hot tub.
Yeah, thank you. Stop by one time when you're walking by. We'll have a drink.
All right. They really have done a great
Oh
job.
my
with
golly, yes.
And you are welcome to leave after your presentation if you want to.
You don't have to stay.
Well, we'll see how long
Okay.
I'm curious.
Okay.
But thank you.
It's one of the big gigs in town tonight, so stick around.
Here we go.
our next project is 113, 115 East Main Street, exterior HVAC piping installation. Megan and crew.
Someone's got to be working. We have to split up the children. It's tag team.
Which of you is presenting?
This one, the one that's sleeping.
Yeah, so tell us, Megan, what you've done. I was just talking with Bethany before we began the meeting. I was walking up Main Street the other day, and I happened to look up at your building, and I said, I don't think I remember those white pipes.
We added HVAC through the whole building because there was no AC and it was still like broiler heating. So in the summer, on top of customers not staying because of how hot, because there's no windows in the restaurant portion, so there was no AC. We tried floor, and he drilled holes in the floors years ago, and tried to use those, but the space that is too large for the amount we would have to house. In the summer, we lose equipment. They're always in there fixing our equipment because it gets so hot. It overworks all of our refrigerant. Our walk-ins go down. So we've saved and saved and saved, and we were able to add an HVAC. And it didn't cross our mind. We didn't do anything to the front of the building, so we didn't think about the historic.
Well, and it's also part of the A&E district, so this was a piece of artwork. And that side is really visible to everything. So I think it's just more of like, can you paint on the plastic? I mean, I don't know.
Yes,
Can we have
there-
the artist come back and kind of
And if
fill in
Jameson doesn't
everything?
want to come back and do it, if he can give me the stencils, or not let me borrow the stencils, well, happily. And I don't foresee Jameson not being, he was in over the weekend. But he's busy. He has children. So we can absolutely make the white, the side of the building stucco. So we can match the colors best we can and then put.
Yeah, and I just think, and it was just more of a question to the staff, is like, maybe if the artist looks at it and he can suggest maybe they're just all gray, maybe you put a bird here and there. I just think it just really, because the white, if it had been a gray, I probably wouldn't even, nobody would see it. But maybe just talk to the artist and see if what he suggests to do.
And I don't mind reaching out. Like I said, I have a business. They're in there all the time. The children
Okay.
have their birthday parties. The second oldest, I believe, always wants it there. So I feel very comfortable reaching out to him.
Okay,
And then
great.
I don't need a burden him. If he wants to, that's fine. But if not, then he'll just guide us on how to. Yeah, it was just kind of, you know what I mean? The contractors did it, and
now when you can get a contractor scheduled, you need to take that appointment. So because they're very, they're also busy. Yeah.
we're also doing the other building, so we know. So you'll be seeing us again soon, because we're going to have to submit once the architect has 86 drawn up.
Did you have much damage during the freeze?
Luckily, it was just 2 apartments, and it came down. It was the elbow portion of a sprinkler, and it went in the kitchen. So yes, equipment's expensive, but the kitchen also has drains in the floor, and it wasn't any of the hardwood that was from like Conway's. So luckily, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. And it was our first Christmas with the new addition, and we got an extra like 4 or 5 days out of it. So I'm trying to be happy and positive. And the staff, we gave them the opportunity to come back in. They decided to take an extended Christmas. So it really, lemonades. Did our best. So yeah, we're back up and going.
Someone looks so happy there.
It's so warm in this room. He just goes right to sleep. So yes, I will meet with Jameson, and then do you want us to submit or just go with whatever he suggests?
Jameson, yeah, he's pretty creative, so I'm curious what he might come up with.
I mean, even if we put birds, won't they look 3-dimensional? Like they're flying.
I think since, I'm not sure Bethany, since the, I guess the administrative part of it. So, we'll just make a motion with that addition, and then, since it was already approved, like the artwork was already approved, you wouldn't have to get it reapproved, correct? Okay. So, yeah, so you're good. If you can just talk to Jason, we'll just put it in the record that you're gonna contact him.
Beautiful.
And see what he comes up with.
It will be interesting.
Oh, we have to make a motion.
Do we have a
Anybody-
motion?
Does anybody have any more questions? Okay, I'll make a motion. Study the application and all the relevant documents and presentation related to this case. I'm familiar with the property in question. I find that the proposed addition to the exterior HVAC piping installation is compatible with the neighborhood. However, due to the artwork in the A&E district that was approved in 2022, the property owner will reach out to the artist to finalize.
Retrofit birds.
Yes, retrofit birds, that's what I was looking for.
I do love the birds, they're really cool. I like them.
Looking for a second.
Do we have a
Second.
second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Approved.
Thank you guys.
And if you ever need him to come and take a nap, tell him to come
Oh.
on the.
Anytime you're at the restaurant, he's somewhere there. I'll just hand him off. Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks.
Megan. Okay, and our next one is 147 East Main, Façade Alterations.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, I'm okay. So I took care of my mom for 15 years and I just got to be involved in the business down there approximately a year and a half ago. I almost was gonna go and get a 9 to 5 because it was so far gone. I feel like the building has a lot of potential, needs a ton of work. So I got in there and I'm just trying to do minimal things to make it more appealing. We are opening up that outside area once we get it approved and everything for food, and we're going to have an outside seating area. And I'm just working on the front of the building to get it more appealing, open it up, get it lit up, try to make it more appealing to people because it looks terrible. The glass it's cracking and falling out. So when I first came to help Dad, I looked up and I was like, the front of this building is terrible. And so the panels that had already fallen or came out, I reached out to many people around in just the local area. I didn't go outside of here. And they said that they did not produce that type of glass any longer. So with the thickness and the color and everything. So I was interested in changing the front of it to something more durable and something that could take the weather and it gets cold and stuff. And we have other panels breaking. I just am interested in putting, I'm trying to make everything more like neutral colors. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry if these photos are not sufficient. I seen his diagram. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, that is not what I did. Dad, after I showed him, I just do things without him and then show it to him. He's like, Stephanie, they're gonna tear you apart. And I'm like, but I'm trying my best. Okay, so they'll see what I'm saying. So the panels that have already fallen out, I painted some wood and slapped it up there last year when I was up there cleaning. We can paint it, but it's just, I just don't know what to do. So I'm interested. I have Steve Shreve. He helps local businesses. He did like Ottaviani's and stuff, and I know him through a friend. And I saw him at dinner, and I was interested in doing some renovations, and we just talked. So he stated that if I could get it approved, he was interested in putting some I got it here. It's tongue and groove. And it will be like a gray color. It says basically removing the glass panels that are a hazard, replacing with vertical treated wood, tongue and groove, and they will be attached with stainless steel hardware. And then once that, if I get it approved, I want to take it around the side of the building, so that'll be completed when people are outside eating. The side of the building won't have that yucky stuff up there, and he'll work with me on wrapping it around the building. Because if we can only use glass, I can't put glass all on the side of that building. So I am asking that maybe you could approve what I am presenting, or if not, lead me in a direction, because the building is ugly and I need it fixed. Okay, that's it, because we're interested in opening up the front in the very near future for something like family oriented. I'm trying to flip this whole entire building and what it is known as, and rebranding and redoing everything. I can do it. I know I can do it. So there's so much space there. And I'm interested in getting something, having food and, and having the back space, for, the liquor license and stuff, but having the front more kid oriented. So that's in the motion once I get enough, money coming in, because it's all me, So that is my goal. And I know I didn't send great pictures and diagrams and such, but I didn't know what I was doing. I'm trying.
Well, I
Okay.
think, but this is a great first step.
Okay, thank you.
I think this is a great first step.
Okay.
Is this the Frostburg?
The Frostburg Inn, yes.
Okay.
We renovated all the rooms, and they're very, very nice inside now, which no one would know.
I see people up on the balcony now. It's like, oh wow, there's life going on. But
Yeah. Okay. Well, and they're debatable, and I was like, we have the back building for the debatables, and then the front building for the nice. I try not to prejudge people, but I literally have to. Okay. But we're trying to get the riffraff, the drugs, all that has got to go, and it has. We don't have that dynamic in our building anymore because of me. Strictly because of me.
Good.
And I'm doing the best I can do. And I will make this space something that Frostburg is proud about, but I am just trying. I'm trying, and I'm doing it all by myself.
Well, I think what you need to do is, I think we need more information, maybe from a
Yeah,
contractor.
definitely need more.
I wanted him here with me. Okay.
Okay, we can, but I think we need to have him probably a little bit more,
Especially
more pictures. and
pictures of the material you're
materials
talking
that will
about
be
using.
replaced.
Okay.
That
Did
would
I
help
send
us.
that?
You sent me.
You sent this,
Okay, so that is the tongue and groove. That's what it is.
and is
It's gonna be like
it a composite or is it a wood or?
It's wood. We're gonna do wood because then it won't break, or we can keep it with the weather and everything, and then it won't be so hard to maintain. I'm looking for something that I don't have to put a lot of effort, maintaining what
Oh,
it
I
looks
understand
like.
that.
But the glass issue, I'm just struggling with the glass
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept that you described, but we
Because
would
we can
need to
wrap
have,
it.
we would need to have some more detail of how that would look.
Okay.
But it's a great idea.
Okay, so I need to take the picture of the front and have a contractor make it look exactly what it would look like. I don't understand. This is where I just kind of sent stuff in because I didn't know exactly what you're looking for. Because he sent the material and what it would look like, and it would come down on both sides of the door. So that's on the side of the door. That's the glass door in the front. I'm getting this covered. And then on both sides of the door, that's broke. That's the green glass. And on the other side is a mirror that is all like spotted and yucky. Everything is ugly. I hate it all. And I don't know what to do. I hate it all. I just need you all to tell me what I can do with it, and I'll do what you say at this point.
Well,
It's just ugly.
I'm confused. Is this part of it too?
No, that's not me.
Okay.
And I'm nervous and my chest is puffed.
Got it.
So we have,
So this isn't part of you?
No, that's not me. It's just the green in the front, and this is a panel on the front. Okay, this is not.
Got it.
Okay.
I've
So
got it.
this is the panel on the front that just broke, and it's from the, I guess, weather. I don't know why these panels would break, you know what I mean?
Well, you could have a rocket fly up off a car. And
Yes,
hit it crack
and
it,
then that's the
starts
bigger
everything,
one,
yeah.
you know. But over on this side of that picture is where they're breaking. And he said there's no frame. He said these old styles, they're basically glued up with, when I seen the back of one, and it was 4 spots of this
Yes,
yucky glue.
Big round spots.
Yeah, and that's it. And I said, I guess they're just breaking loose.
Yeah, pretty much they were installed the way you'd put a mirror up on a wall.
Right.
Yeah, and he said there's no track,
No.
is what he said. He said he didn't install it, and that's we'd have to build that, and that's going to be like a black steel, strong structure, and then the wood would go inside of it. And then it would be vertical. We're not going to keep it so it, and then in the future, if we need to put a sign up on it or whatever, we can do that.
So that's brick underneath the,
That is it's not a particle board. It is, if you look behind that right there where it's broke, that's what's behind it. And it is just like it's almost like a plywood.
It's just wood.
It is,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like
it's not even wood though. It's like I don't even know what to call
like
it.
a drywall.
It's
type
almost
thing.
like a plywood mixture with fabric in it or something. I don't know what it is, but it is. It's just needs help. And
Now, what I was wondering if originally the brick was all the way,
I wish that would be great, because I would make that all brick if I could. I think it would look better, but I'm just trying to just make everything look nicer to the eye.
so these are the only 2 pieces of glass you want to replace,
Yeah.
or is it wrap all the way around?
Nope,
the-
no,
It's
I
just on the
just, it's just on the front, and then when it comes down beside that door that used to be where the
So this
restaurant
kinda looks
was.
like that.
Yeah,
What is this?
I'm sorry, that's just a broken panel. Yeah, that's just one of the pieces that broke in half. I don't know why it broke in half, but it did.
oh, it zoomed in on it.
It's up yeah, I zoomed up, but it's on the top, and they just pop off, and that's definitely not safe.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need
Is anybody-
some more information,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
What
Okay.
you're using,
Do you have a binder?
maybe even, if we're not familiar with it, some kind of a teeny sample of it or something so we can see it.
Okay.
Come up with-
Of the tongue and groove stuff. Okay.
What our option was.
Okay.
Uh,
And then the color. I just was kind of going I think gray is kind of more modern, gray and white. I got the bar actually looks very beautiful now. I did all the inside there. We flipped the rooms last year, and they're all like a gray white thing. The shoe store will be opening up once we get all the details finished there, and that's like a gray-ish thing. I thought because of Frostburg State being like gray, black, and red that it would kind of tie in the FSU thing. I don't know.
No,
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I wish we had more like that.
But
And then,
I don't know what I'm
I
allowed to
believe,
do.
we have, information on, recommended. So if you wanna work
Materials.
with, recommended materials for
Hey, you could
these glass.
run that by Bethany, I would think, if you've got questions, she can answer for you.
Well,
come here.
Mr. Hovatter came down, and then he was telling me there's certain color schemes and materials I can use, but I didn't get that until I already sent this, so it was kind of like after the fact thing. So, yes, I can ask Steve to resubmit something, because he was going to be up in like a week or 2 to start taking the panels down, but I guess I can tell him we got a halt on that.
Yeah, let's hold up on
Yeah.
that before it's approved.
Okay.
So, Bethany, could your team give her maybe an example of an approved kind of submission? Somebody kind of did a picture of the whole.
That would be
front,
great if I had like a
Like the
format.
whole front, and then kind of like
Wait, open.
the contractor's rendition, how they kind of say, well, this is what it looked like. And if you have an example,
Mhm.
I think that'll help you you and the contractor can sit down and say, oh yeah, well, I can do that, and we'll just. I think
Okay.
that would be easier for you. if
So
you saw
is
one.
the materials not allowed, or you're not saying that yet?
We're not saying that yet. 'cause
Not yet.
We just want to see, have some more information about the materials that you
Okay.
picked, and then Bethany's team's going to give you kind of also some suggestions too for you to talk with your
So,
contractor.
and then I can resubmit,
Resubmit.
Absolutely.
and then have more details, so you guys are.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, because I knew this
The more
wasn't
pictures
gonna
you
be enough.
bring, the better it'll help us,
Okay,
and information about the material you're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah, if you have a materials list, generally that is provided by the person who's you.
okay.
And how it lays out on the building, where you want to have
Whether it's gonna be
this
vertical
material,
or horizontal.
where you would have, if you're going to be redoing the glass kind of treatment.
Yeah, I wanted to do the glass and then the mirror on the other side and then that whole glass on the front.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so when you do that, you take a whole picture of the front of the building, and then you can tell us exactly the changes on the front that you want to do.
Okay,
So it could be a picture, and you could just hand say,
Draw
you know,
on it.
we're going to get, change this to this material, we're gonna change this to this material, we wanna change this out, so anything you wanna
More
do on the
details.
front.
just details,
Yeah,
in
you
details.
could do
That's
that
what
with,
that's-
you could do that with
Here's something
with a
somebody
felt
has
pen,
done.
you know, just
Right.
lay it out.
Okay.
Somebody has taken the front of their building and then drawn what they,
Oh, that's what I needed. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Somebody's right.
Don't you hate
Can I
it
take
when-
it?
you hate it when dads are
Can
right?
I? Okay.
So,
Parents are always right. It just is what it is.
Stephanie, what are your plans in terms of opening?
Okay, so I am trying. You want to know the plans for the front? I would like to get something like kind of where an arcade or something kid friendly can be, where you can rent it out for birthday parties and such. And then we have an outside eating area. We got the tables. We're getting the fill put down and all the stone and stuff. And we have these big spool tables or big round tables. And I'm interested in doing that. My friend is in connection with somebody that does like seafood and stuff downstate where they have boilers and stuff. I was interested in having like a seasonal thing where we could do crabs, snow crab legs and shrimp, and then have other dishes also. And then the family could sit outside and eat, and the kids could have somewhere to go, and the parents could have drinks if they would like a beer or something. They could, and the kids are safe. So the back space, we're moving the trailer out. I know you don't know the area, but in the back, we're going to fence that off. So there'll be a privacy fence in the back. I gotta get that approved. And then, so that all will be just one little area, all closed in. Then the upstairs, I was interested in doing something more for, cause we got a lot of FSU students coming there right now, and I'm trying to juggle it all. And I want to cater to them, but I also want locals and family to be interested in it also. I want it to be a safe space. So upstairs, a lot of the kids that come from downstate, they go to these things called Dave and Buster's, and they have games and stuff like that, and you can drink. So if the kids could be upstairs and have something like that, and then downstairs could be just family oriented, I think we just have so much space. We have so much space, and I don't want the whole thing to be a bar. I don't like bars. I don't like running a bar. I hate it, but I'll do it to the best of my ability. But instead of, because everybody said, you need to turn that front space into more space for drinking. No, it's trouble and it's issues, and I don't want that. So I think that this route would be best, have dining inside of the Outback, because by and by, God forbid, when Dad passes one day, I don't know if I'll be full-fledged bar mode. I might be more food-oriented. And then we have a downstairs bar space that we could also rent out for events and stuff, because there's a lot of people looking for open space to rent out, and we have that space. I just got to get it together. So I'm working baby steps to make this place a respectable place for Frostburg, and I can do it. I know I can do
I
it.
remember when we first moved to Frostburg in early '80s, going to Al's Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And this interesting artwork that was on the walls, probably still there. I don't know.
It burnt down. That was the end of the restaurant food. And now we need a kitchen built, you know, and I keep every day, I'm like, Dad, we need a kitchen built. I mean, we have food there, but it's just little stuff. But when Al's burnt, the whole motel burnt, the bar got ruined. It's been a,
do you know when that was?
yeah, 1996 is when it burnt. Down to the ground.
96.
Well, not down to the ground, yeah, but it took it all out. So he hasn't had any help and not a lot of, I guess, money. He doesn't believe in going into huge debt and stuff. So I spend, he doesn't. He loves me. We fight every day. It's great.
So that fire, did it damage the,
It took the whole motel out,
okay.
all of Al's, and the whole upper part of the motel, the whole place. And then the downstairs bar was where all the water went. So that was all water damage. So the whole place was completely ravaged.
Yeah, we stayed in one of those rooms.
Oh,
and
gosh.
We were having our
The-
hardwood floors redone. We couldn't be in the house, and so
Mhm.
we popped down there, and yeah, there was a lot of activity on the floor down below.
No good. It's no good. But the rooms are all new. I can't flip the furniture and stuff, you know, until I get money coming in. But as soon, that'll be very, very, very nice. It's nice now. We got new beds, and then we did all the painting and the carpet and stuff. So it's good enough. I'd stay in it. I did when my trees fell on my house. But, but anyway, so I do have big plans, but I'm just trying to navigate through, and I don't know what I'm doing. So,
Yeah.
but I don't want to fight, and I just want people to kind of help lead me along. Anyway.
One step
I'm
at
done
a time.
talking.
Yes, I
One
was gonna
step
say,
at a
take
time.
one step.
Okay. Okay, so do this, and lots of pictures, and get my contractor up here with me.
Yeah,
Next
yeah, and as I
Okay.
said, if you had, for the exterior, if you took some pictures and then just use a felt tip pen, and you could just say, this is where that treatment goes, and
Okay.
if you're going to be using that stuff,
There,
that's where
yeah.
that goes. Yeah, no, that'd be better for us to visualize.
Okay.
And if you're doing work, are you going to be, as part of the application, looking at the exterior where you have the outside space?
Not yet. I'm gonna do little
Okay.
pieces. So right now we're just looking at the front, and then the outdoor space, and then I'm going to the balcony. I want the
But
balcony.
your outdoor space is already behind a privacy fence, correct?
Yes, it is.
So that wouldn't need to be approved.
Oh, it does?
No, that does not, the outdoor does not.
Okay.
No.
But it's gonna look really, really nice.
Mhm.
I'll make sure
Great.
of it. Yeah. So lots of motion. I drive my dad nuts every day. I'm like, let's do this. He's like, hold on. So okay. So I will get this, submit everything, and come back
Yeah.
and visit again.
See Bethany.
Okay. Deal. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay,
Well, thank you,
So
Stephanie.
this wasn't a negative.
No.
You
not
guys
at
are
all.
doing
I need
some,
a motion and a second to
Oh.
table this
you're doing some great
discussion.
I
work.
made the motion.
Okay.
Who was the
Thank
second?
you.
I second it.
I'm really
I'll
drawing.
second. Thank
We
you.
also-
Okay. I'm good.
Then we start
Good,
chatting.
thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We're at 64 East Main, exterior alterations.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
This, yeah,
That one, right?
cracking, yeah, if you look closely at that photo, this is all cracking and it's protruding out from the wall, it's all pushing out. So
Good point.
that's,
I gave
right
you
here is, this is pushed out of this corner probably about this far. It's all pushing. I don't know what the pushing unless it's getting water damage up here,
Oh, I'm
pushing
sure
it
it
out.
is.
So I wanna take all this stone right here out,
Okay.
and that's what I wanna propose, and put rock into it and some windows. Cause the building is actually rented out, and they wanna do a juice bar in there, and they'd like some windows, and a bench to sit down and look out the windows.
Jeez,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Sounds delicious.
It's a health, there's actually a juice bar going in one building, and then this is for California, some sort of teas and drinks and things like that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
Excited.
and you had two more windows.
Yes,
on the
correct.
side.
I'm not sure the other,
It's right here.
So this
right
is
here.
your,
Yeah, this is
this
right
the
here.
windows you're proposing
yeah,
to use?
yeah. Now these are 4 feet by 6 feet windows. They're commercial windows. And these, is what we're proposing there. And they're low enough to the ground, like I said, that I can put a bench there so you can sit down for the customers to come in and look out the window.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
that's good.
Yeah.
if you change that
Is that front?
stone that's there, and I saw the picture of the Powell stone, you're using much thicker material.
That's what depends. I might have to go with thinner stone, but it would be real stone.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I got a whole pile of stone, but
Oh, that's
depending on what I find in this wall,
I was wondering why we had a pile of stone here on one of the
I dug
pictures.
them off the back lot. We
Okay.
regraded that whole back lot. And it was all, I guess, the old ice house. That was the ice house building.
Interesting.
So that stone's hundreds of years, been cut for hundreds of years. And I'd like to incorporate that in here if I can do it. It's all thicknesses, what's there. So I might have to take it up and get it broke and all that stuff through a machine. I don't know how thick this is. I think this was all put on,
That's all prefab.
this is all, the veneer, like fake stuff probably.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know what's behind, I think they blocked this in. I tried to get an old photo of this building originally. I talked to Bethany, but we can't find it.
There is one from 1970, what year was that? Just a second. 1978, here it is up on the screen, where Hilton Forest is.
There it is.
That is the
Oh.
building that we're discussing today.
We're talking,
Oh, this was it right here.
I guess, yes.
No, that's Jim Brasky there, isn't it? Isn't this the Bar Monkey?
The Democrat Club is where the.
That one's tore
Monkey was.
down.
That's the bar monkey. No.
This is tore down. This is a vacant lot. This is the fence.
Democrat Club is gone.
Yes, correct. It's been tore out.
Okay.
So this is actually,
Right, that's the bill, that's the
this
one
is,
next to
this
the
is the Bar
L's,
Monkey.
or
We need
not
the one
L's.
above that.
Oh,
Eagles.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
The Eagles,
the Eagles, correct.
previous Eagles.
Yeah, the old
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, enjoy the picture from 1978 anyway.
yeah.
We should
Yeah.
have it in,
Actually,
because everything was
Hilton Forest doesn't
photographed
look
when
much different.
we were doing the
Different
historic
color.
properties.
I'd be curious to look at it before we make a final decision, but this is my goal on it. Like I said, to keep this facade, this is existing here, and I would keep them some signage here. This pilaster here is, that's got a crack the whole way down it. So that to me is structurally supporting, that needs to stay there.
Yeah, and as Bill said, you probably are getting some water down.
Yes.
It's just going behind, and who knows, when you start pulling
Mhm.
this
Well,
out,
once you,
what's there?
because that was probably sort of like glued on. And
Yeah.
There's gaps between.
So
them,
I gotta
water-
address this issue and also fix this issue here. I wanna keep the facade, I wanna make it existing.
Yeah,
I wanna keep the brick here,
the facade would be good to keep,
Yes.
but I'm sure that you would have to do some caulking.
reflash it, yeah.
Do you think there's brick
Reflash it,
behind
yeah.
this
No,
veneer? You
no,
don't?
I do
Not-
not. What I think
It's
was
probably a
originally was
window.
all glass.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
probably
originally
a
that was
window.
all
Oh,
window
okay,
glass, is
alright.
what I think it
Probably
was.
a retail store,
Yeah.
probably.
I think this was the window, this here is existing, this concrete, and I think that was existing glass up there. Now, what I'm not sure about was this, the way it sort of lays out is there might have been two doors, a door here and a door
Yeah,
here,
makes sense.
originally. But we don't need that.
You're talking about taking,
So the stonework would continue up at pilaster.
so you're just gonna have still one door at the
Yes,
same place?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that keeps it, there's no need for me to keep it two buildings now. I mean, I'd like to see it just to see it, but curiosity more than anything.
That's good.
But I'd say the glass went the whole way up because it's got the old tin ceilings inside of it. Now they since have put drop ceilings, so that's the reason they got this dropped down. But originally the glass went the whole way, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it probably was just a typical storefront
Yeah,
with
storefront
glass.
glass. That's what I'm thinking.
Probably, transom over door, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Bethany, you checked to see if there's a picture,
Already,
and you
I
could,
have dug through everything I can possibly dig through, and I cannot find.
See, this is
I
months
can
ago,
find
huh?
right up the street and right
Yeah.
down the
I
street.
wonder if the museum would have something.
They
They might
might.
have something.
yeah.
But this would give them signage here. When they do they gotta come in for a permit for their signage and things like that. But like I said, the pilaster would go the whole way up through the stone and the stone on the sides of it.
I wonder what was in there.
Well, beside it was a florist, so maybe something complimentary. Maybe it was a candy store or something. I don't know.
Apparently, there was a florist shop right next door.
Right, that's what I was gonna say, something complimentary to the florist, so maybe it was a candy shop. So, are you going to keep the same materials here?
Yeah.
Or just
Well, it'd be I don't know if it'll be
something
exact
similar,
same
like
till
a
I tear this
sign
out,
holder,
if
like-
that comes out.
Like a sign holder.
But it'll be duplicate, similar to what's there,
Okay.
yes.
But just with that stone in between.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
pilaster there. Them
Okay.
cracks, like I said, that's cracked. So something's going on there. But rather
Well,
than, I
these are
want
water.
that to be an expansion joint rather than incorporate it and have windows crack and all that stuff.
Inside,
There's
is it
nothing
one
damaged
room?
inside. Yeah, it's all open up. That's the old
All open?
bar.
What's the
Yeah.
size of that existing window there?
That's probably 3 by 5 or something.
And yours are gonna be 4?
Just 3 of them. One here and then one side by side.
Okay.
This is probably a 6-foot unit, 2, 4, 6 foot.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, mine will be shifted down this way and then this way.
Right.
Just to, I think it's
Get
very
some
necessary
symmetry.
for the store frontage of it too.
Yeah.
The more glass, the better it's gonna look,
Mhm.
I think. Yeah.
how, when, I've never been in that space.
I've
How
never
much
been in the
space
building.
is there in there?
They want to at least keep it a minimum. They don't need a lot of room for they probably under 1,000 square feet.
Mhm.
Just the main bar area is what they're after. Now the back of the building will stay separate for now. Someone else is looking at that, but we'll see where it goes to.
Who owns that now, if I can ask?
We own it.
You own
Yeah,
Okay.
me and my wife.
it? Okay.
Yeah, Lowell and Tracy.
The whole building,
Yes.
big building.
Yeah.
I remember that building back in the day.
I remember being up in the second floor of the Eagles.
Yeah, it's almost over 8,000 square feet now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 4,000 on each floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we waiting to get the historic picture first before
I
we
would take
start
to get this.
or-
I don't think we're gonna find it. I would
Did you
sooner-
check with the museum to see if?
I didn't check with any museum.
Okay.
But I don't know in reality, what's it gonna change?
Because you basically, from this picture, what you're planning to do is to tear out the existing, whatever that kind of
Yeah.
stuff is, take out the window that's there and replace that window and have 2 more windows.
Yeah,
And then you're going to be doing masonry with the rock that
Yeah.
you have that will fill in.
yes, correct.
Okay, and then up above is existing, that'll stay.
The more,
That'll stay the
done.
same.
Very nice,
How far does that stick out?
probably 12 inches or something.
So
I think
it's-
real far.
and you're gonna renovate that and
Yeah,
paint it.
yeah, I
whatever.
don't wanna redo that, just renovate it, correct. Keep
Yeah.
it back to original,
That'll be nice.
yes. Yeah, that's gonna add a
So
lot of
you would just
character to
flash
it.
that? or-
Yes.
Do you have a time frame?
I'd like to do that before they actually move in the building as far as getting the windows in, because it's gonna be dirty work. And they're gonna be, they wanna, depending on when their money comes through, they apply for the grant, they got the grant money to do it. So within a month or something,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So I'd like to have the dirty work done on it. I'm not sure about the stone work, if we can carry that out a little bit. That's gonna be
Yeah.
labor intensive.
Yeah, that could be labor intensive, especially looking at that picture of the rocks. As you say, you're probably gonna
Yeah, I
have to
have
cut
to-
up some of them.
Yeah.
That'll be nice, very nice.
I think it's gonna be, like I said, for the time frame, that great big cut stone, it'll be really nice in there.
And historic, you
Yeah.
said that's from the old
The-
Frostburg Ice House, is that right?
Yes, that's the building where I just got the grading permit to grade all this stuff where they dumped on our property way back when they tore a building down somewhere in Frostburg. Huge hunks of concrete and stuff. So we really, I don't know if you've seen that lately, but it really improved that building by doing that parking lot.
So that's
Yeah.
where they got the fill to do the parking lot in the back?
They tore down in the 70s, they tore down several buildings here in Frostburg somewhere. And it all went in that Eagles parking lot, yes. But they didn't grade it in, they just dumped it.
Wow.
And it was a mess. A
The city
huge
did
mess.
that, Bethany.
What's
The
that?
city did that back then.
City,
She wasn't even born.
but it is cleaned up.
You gotta fix it.
And the neighbors, she probably got some complaints when it started. They come out and they really was taking pictures and photos, so I know she got phone calls probably to see if I had a permit and all that. But after I got it done, they come out and they thanked me. Oh, my land, this looks so nice. This just improved our whole neighborhood right here. So they're all waving at me now and talking to me. And, yeah.
Well, do we have enough for a motion?
Especially they're probably putting it on social media.
They might be.
Tell them I'll do that.
Wow, we can visually see that. It's great.
I gotta get back there.
You're still thinking?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to improve what that building looks like. There's no doubt about that. That building is an eyesore. The bottom part of it is.
I think it is difficult without having a historic picture,
Yeah.
but if it is similar to the time that.
You
older
say you're going to
picture
leave
we
the
have,
brick
Yes.
I think it would,
columns down.
since it was a retail front.
I question whether to make this brick, but I'm never going to match that brick up. And is it going to look crazy to put the? You're not going to match it. So is that going to look worse?
What
than-
is that stuff?
This is that old fake.
No, the white.
It's just plastic. It's concrete stucco. That's all
Oh,
it is.
okay.
I'm thinking what's behind there is concrete blocks.
Mhm.
When they
Oh,
built
so you
this,
think the whole thing's concrete blocks?
I think when they tore the original glass framing and all that out, they blocked behind it. They stuccoed the front of it, just put the stucco finish on it, and then they filled in with that fake stone I call it. It ain't real
It
stone.
is fake stone.
Yeah.
It's ugly stone. That's
It is.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah.
Do you feel that we need to have more information, Phil?
I can't think of a building in town that has stone other than that fake stone
Mhm.
coming down Main Street. They're all brick or they're all glassed
Well, some of the churches
wood.
might have some stone in them.
That's true. St. Michael's
They
has.
have lots of churches.
If you got a better option,
No,
I
no,
just
I don't
thought
have a better option.
Yeah, that's my thing, is I'm not sure what the other option would be to make this a viable
That's what I'm trying to
Mhm.
retail.
process.
Yeah, I'll gladly take suggestions. I mean, I just used it because I thought, man, when I dug them out and they're really nice cut stone, somebody, that's very expensive now to cut stone.
Oh, yeah.
That's a dying art. So if I can utilize it in there.
And you
bring
think
it
you have
together.
enough stone to do what you
Yeah,
have proposed here?
yeah, there's a,
And you're saying the two top things that you're going to leave existing,
yeah,
that's for signage?
yeah, yeah, that would be for signage. Again, I thought it would be a nice contrast to it, rather than stone up above, but I think too much is gonna be worse than a little bit.
Oh, I agree.
So I think the contrast would be nice for the signage.
Is this in good shape?
Yes, it is, and I'm hoping it stays there when I take this out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is there a lip there?
It's flush, but I don't know if they got there's a lintel here going across this,
Okay.
so I'm hoping they got a lintel across
All
the
the
whole
way
thing.
across, yeah.
I'm hoping. Like the blocks set out. Like this, if it makes any sense, they move thicker and then thicker out here, paddles
Right.
it back out, is what I'm thinking, but I don't know till I tear into it.
Yeah, you'll probably find some interesting things in there when you start.
But I
digging
can,
into
I
it.
can keep, I mean, even if that comes out, I can put it back to existing to make it match it.
When this becomes signage, we would need to see the
Yes, that would be the,
signage.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not sure
cool.
signs
Come-
can be
Store
that
owners
big,
would have
that
to do
it
that.
wouldn't fill up that whole space.
no, that's
No.
fine.
No, I mean, you'd have to do some sort of finishing treatment here before you put whatever the signage.
And we may
is.
just paint, I don't know, I haven't talked to the actual tenants at all, so this is me putting that out there.
And
They may do window decals or something.
Right.
These are pretty large windows.
Mhm.
Sort of like the Jennifer, Jessica Woods for the bake shop.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got all her decals on our windows. That's our building there, and she didn't want the canopy. We just painted the canopy and took them decals and stuff off and painted the canopy, and I think it looks great what she did.
Does look nice.
Yeah. So they may
Just
be
wondering
content
if
with.
maybe a canopy on this would help. Well, the picture
It
can't
may,
be over
but
here
it's gonna
because it's gonna be
protrude.
full sun all day. too.
Yeah, there's not much there for, when this is painted,
That's gonna really be.
that'll make it look a lot
A lot
nicer.
better.
Major difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think we better
And we can
Take
reevaluate this. I mean, if it's a problem.
take advantage of the fact
Do
that.
we have
you're
any facade
trying to do
money?
this.
Pardon?
The facade grant,
Oh,
this project would be eligible if
Yeah.
you were, willing to.
but I don't know how that works. I'm just a contractor, general contractor, and I talked to Bethany before, and all it pays for is materials. The stone's laying in the back, so what do I get
Oh,
paid
I was
for?
just referring to this piece of it right up here.
Oh. Well,
Go in the windows.
I don't know. I'll gladly accept if we can pull it off.
If there's money you would
Yes.
like to have it.
But in the past, we haven't found that loophole yet.
Okay.
We have
Right.
not.
Okay.
I mean, I've tried it for years. That's the reason it's set that way for years. We've owned that building for
Oh, you
almost
have?
10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
So it's
And-
been empty all that time.
yes,
It's rough on a building.
it's rough on a building, but at the same point, if you don't have money,
Oh, I know.
you can't do it. And I couldn't get any free money, so that's where we're at.
Keep looking
Alright.
to.
All right, I'm going to make a motion. I have studied the application and all relevant documents and presentations related to this case, and I am familiar with the property in question. I find that the proposed changes are compatible with the neighborhood because the exterior design, the scale, and the proportions and materials to be used will. I shouldn't have gone off script.
Are very similar from the existing.
Are very similar to existing materials. Based on these findings, I move to approve the proposal because the use of the exterior materials are closely similar in appearance to original materials in the district pursuant to section 4.1.J.2.C and 4.1.J.2.D.
One second.
And so it is similar to
Yes,
what we see
yes,
with the fake rock that is there gone,
yes.
some rock that you're furnishing and will fill in below and here.
The new windows.
And there'll be 3 windows of that dimension.
And the door will be out to the front now instead of that
It
hall.
may be back, I don't know till I tear into that. Do I need to come back in for that when I get into that? Because if I can cut this corner while I got my saw, and if I can push the door back, it'll be all glass door to match that. It'll be a full view glass door. But if I get into there and cut this down and get my ADA requirement, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I'm going to do that. But again, if I need to come back, I will. My priority right now is the windows because of the dirt before you start setting up a shop in there.
Is that a step up to go in there?
That's a little, here's about 3 inches, here's about probably 6 inches or
So
something.
it's gonna have to be,
Yeah, you gotta flow it all together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna,
So the door will be pushed back regardless, it will not come out front.
I understand that.
Yeah. To get that ramp
And right
in.
now, it's just a
Yeah.
hollow spot and the door's off
Correct.
to the right.
Yes.
And you're talking about sealing it across the front with the door.
No, it won't be out front.
Well-
In the back. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
it
till you,
could be a porch and go in that way, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay.
like we're building at the bake shop, where the door's back in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Where you go up the ramp. sort of like the flower shop picture there. So the door would be back in. Till you saw that out.
Right. I think the liquor stores like that too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's many buildings like that.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know that till I get into it.
Sure.
Would you like to see, commissioners, the door treatment?
I think if you're cutting again into the front or anything, I think we do need to see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, when you get to that, I know there's
Yeah,
a
that
lot
would be,
to do between
yeah, this would be the
then
part
and
where-
now.
Like I said, it's basically that right there. It's a full view glass door. The frame's a little bigger on it.
How low will they be?
They're going to be they want a bench inside there, so they'll be probably about down this elevation probably.
Looks like about 4 feet.
The should be about 3, sitting at a bench, so the bottom of the window will be about 3.
You want people to be able to look out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To look in, I guess is,
Look out more than look in probably,
Okay.
but both.
okay.
Yeah. Right now, this window's pretty
And
high.
you say it's gonna be 2 businesses?
No, well, the front's going to be one business.
Okay.
I got someone else looking at the back part of the building.
Oh, okay.
That's got the commercial kitchen, it will have, needs already done. And then upstairs, someone's looking at that as well, but,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I
That's
think
a
the reason
lot
why
of
we said
space.
2 was we were saying like they could probably have 2 signs, one about the juices and one about the teas. You know, you could put the 2 signs on this.
That'll be split now with the masonry stone
yeah.
pillar,
Yeah,
which I think will help.
that'll give it a nice
Oh, yeah,
contrast.
sit out,
I think it'll give it a real nice contrast.
Yeah.
That crack is terrible.
It is,
Wow.
and it's gotten worse over the last few
I mean,
years.
'cause
It
it
has,
shows up so well in this picture. That's
Yeah.
terrible crack.
yeah,
That's across the street.
yeah, it's not good.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And we have unanimous approval.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
And you understand that
About the door,
we
yeah.
want to see the door and
And any signage things that
the
you talk
signage
about.
will need
Yeah,
to see.
yeah, correct, yeah.
Okay.
But hey, that's going to be terrific when it's done. Sounds like you're going to get
And-
on it pretty quickly.
If we can find some free money.
There you go.
Bethany, that's your job.
I know.
Get on.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I wanted her 2 for 2 today. Oh, okay. Come up over the mountain. Born and raised.
What is this?
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Those are the photos that were provided as examples
Of
of
the
the
tongue
tongue
and
and
groove.
groove.
Oh,
Beautiful, beautiful place.
well, one's tongue and groove and one is
Okay.
different. It's the crack with the board to seal the crack.
The Big 12. Where we started from.
I don't know how that would look out there.
Old business.
If you have other suggestions, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely send.
We now have some old business.
Yes.
She lived here in Frostburg.
All right, so, since we last met, we've issued 2 administrative approvals. One for commercial signage at Runner's Wings, which is in the Lyric Building. They just had the ribbon cutting today, actually.
Oh.
So stop by and see them.
Who's doing that?
Laura Burns.
Okay.
She's Molly Offstein's mother,
Okay.
and they sell all kinds of running shoes and equipment and things like that. So, it looks really nice inside. They've done a really
Yeah.
nice job. And then the other administrative approval was an in-kind roof replacement at 226 East Main Street. They had shingle roof on there, and they just swapped it out for updated shingles.
Okay. So that's what, you
We
had
have
me
new
so
business
confused.
about,
I was trying to figure out, what is, I was having trouble with all these pictures and trying to put them together with what I was supposed to be looking at. If you saw me, I kept flipping back and forth.
I know what you mean. I have a mess here now.
So I think we're down here.
We have municipal historic tax credit discussion.
Yes. Commissioner Brewer had asked me to look into the possibility of the city offering a municipal tax credit. So as part of my research, I talked to the folks in Cumberland. They have a tax credit program for their historic properties. I also had reached out to Oakland. So the biggest difference between our municipality and Cumberland, their Historic Preservation Commission regulates interior renovations as well.
Wow.
And so all of those renovations are also eligible for that tax credit. Cumberland is also a certified local government through the National Park Service, which opens them to a whole other pot of preservation funding, which we have not yet achieved that. It's on my list. I'd really like to get that for us, but right now we've got a couple more pressing things that we need to look into from the Community Development Department. So I also spoke with our finance director about the possibility of this tax credit, because obviously finance department would need to be heavily involved. And from the way that it was explained to me, our real estate tax is our primary revenue for our corporate fund for the city. At this time, our corporate fund is at a deficit, and offering a municipal tax credit would cause other taxpayers to kind of be subsidizing the decrease in the tax base revenue.
But wouldn't it also encourage people to invest in and like to develop the second floors, the third floors, or whatever? I mean, it would give somebody who has been sitting on a building for 10 years more money to fix a building and make it useful. I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I
go
think-
either way.
I think it's certainly
It's not
worth
always an
continuing to
expense.
look at and to look at
What would be, and maybe you could find this, Bethany, from other municipalities that have such a tax credit, what they have found it does for increasing property values of their Main Street.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can reach out to some other kind of further reaching municipalities in Maryland to see.
Yeah, why don't you check on some other, just pull up some Main Street communities, because they're all pretty much, they're all
Yeah.
A&E districts too. I mean, it just seems like, I don't know, you should be able to offer something, because it is very expensive to maintain a historic.
Be something that we might be able to get some information from the Main Street program.
Yeah.
And we have pretty good links to
And that's
to
difficult
that.
too, because this was years ago, but each Main Street is governed differently and have
Mhm.
totally different, well, as you know,
Yeah.
they're all different, so.
But the concept of having a tax credit for historic buildings in a Main Street seems to me it would have some benefit then for raising the overall appearance certainly of the area, but also increasing property values.
Yeah. And another angle that I would like to take with this, we do have our building improvement grant program. The biggest hurdle with that is all projects have to go through the Maryland Historical Trust prior to work even beginning, and a lot of our kind of key property owners downtown are all doing the work themselves, so they just kind of want to get started. And
Well, the problem is that it can take them so long to review something. Your roof can cave in before
right,
you get an answer.
yeah, so
And if you fix anything, then your whole thing, if you fix a roof, then your whole application is ruined.
yeah, so our next round of funding, our current program specifically caters to commercial property owners. I'd like to kind of shift the focus to help our residential homeowners as well, because the boundaries that are eligible for this funding is most of Main Street, all down into the college neighborhoods, and I think that could be, for our next round of funding, I'm working with DHCD to determine how best to assist our kind of homeowners in facade upgrades. So, stay tuned for more information on that.
What's the
Thanks,
status
Bethany.
of the off Petit building?
They're working on having architectural renderings and renovation plans drawn up. Their facade, they're going to be bringing the facade to this commission probably in the next month or two. They're getting pretty close to that point, so that's,
So they have been renovating heavily inside?
they have been doing the demo and clearing things out in the inside.
Okay.
I don't know, did you ever get to tour that building when it was?
Yes. And the demolition was substantial that was
Yeah.
required.
There was a lot that was needed. I mean, the
Yeah.
whole second floor looked like it was right out of 1970s with the multicolored shag carpet tiles and there
You
was
saved
a
all
lot.
that for the museum, right?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so, there was a lot that needed to be done there. So, but they're getting close and we'll start getting some updates here very soon, hopefully before summertime.
That was the other thing I was thinking about when she was talking about this building. Could somebody in town use that marble if she didn't want it, if they could get it off of there
Right.
in decent hunks?
And probably break apart.
I don't know.
Right, that's glass tile is a
I
great
know how
source.
you get mirrors off of walls by using piano wire behind
Go
it.
down and do it, that's right.
Could be a cool
Chainsaw.
art piece. Mosaic.
I don't know.
That stuff is so sharp if it breaks, I'll stay away from it.
That's gonna be an interesting renovation, of the old Owl's Motel. It certainly is, it has a big footprint in downtown Frostburg.
Okay. Anything else, Becky?
Okay, are we
I
finished?
think we're finished.
Okay, so
Are
we
these
will
mine?
adjourn at, what appears to be 7:15.
Take a, I'll make a motion.
I second.